should be live by like 8:40.
I was just asking, we're observing as well, right? Okay, fair play.
Yep, bye-bye.
I've muted myself on Vedo, so I'm good right now. Sorry. Hello everyone and welcome to our match today. Today is going to be, as far as I'm concerned, just wait for this to load. It's going to be Calypso versus Perpetrators. Calypso representing the side of Marmaris, Perpetrators from, I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. I am EdgarTheRuiner, joined by my lovely co-host today, Seventh Shadow. How you doing, man?
Doing alright, thank you so much for having me. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Shadow. I am a hit scan for Marmaris Esports Argonauts team, and I am here today to guest host and guest cast. So, hopefully, we're in for a really good match today. More than likely, we're going to see a lot of action, a lot of fun, a lot of great plays, hopefully from Calypso. What are your thoughts on what's going to happen today?
The great thing for me, Shadow, is that I have no idea. I've absolutely no idea.
I don't either. So
this is my first time Marmaris, but that's what's so great. We don't need to. These teams aren't necessarily going to stick to what maybe we think is meta. They're not going to stick to what we think they should be playing. They're going to do whatever the hell they want, and we're just going to sit back and enjoy it. And I think that sounds like a great day of Overwatch, don't you?
Absolutely, that's some of the best Overwatch that you can possibly ask for. No hard meta, no nothing. You don't have to worry about, oh, brawl this, poke that, do whatever the hell you want. You know, it's just have some fun, shall we? We're currently waiting on for the teams to ready up. Looks like Calypso's ready up. Let's see about Perpetrators. Looks like they're still waiting. They might be waiting on one more right now. Maybe. It's hard to see in the chat.
Yeah, what we can see is that the first map that it looks like we're going to be going to is Nepal. Nepal, a bit of an interesting map. Both teams are ready now, so it does seem like we're about to head in. Nepal, a bit interesting. Tell me a little bit about what we might expect to see from these teams on this map.
Well, from my experience personally as a player, usually it's a brawl map because you have village and the one that I can't remember off the top of my head. But for the most part, brawl is an asset that you need to have. Maybe a little bit of spam here and there. I think it's Sanctum that's the one you could go for a little bit of poke. You could see like maybe an Ashe, maybe even a Torbjorn or something like that. But for the most part, I've seen a decent amount of Symmetra comps. I've seen famous Ice Wizard, excuse me, where you have Mei and Symmetra. But I've also just seen a whole lot of spam because for both of the brawl maps, it's essentially locked onto a single point that's surrounded by cover. Meaning, You just stand around it and just lob grenades in as Junkrat, spam pot shots in as a Torbjorn or something, throw a dynamite in as Ash. Just get a lot of damage done in a small area. So it's going to be interesting to see how both teams play around this map. What are your thoughts on some of the comps that I mentioned so far?
You've sort of just described about everything in the game, to be perfectly honest. You start saying this is a bit brawly, a bit pokey, a bit of this, a bit of that, and I reckon that's pretty good design, to be honest. You have a control map with a lot of different things that can be... a control map with a lot of different things that can actually be done. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, just dealing with some production things. It's a great production we got today. We are going to give a special thanks to sorry, just a moment, alt tabbing takes quite a while. Saxo, we're going to be giving a big shout out to Saxo. Obviously we're going to be the ones on screen doing all the speaking, but Saxo is the one behind the scenes making sure this all works well.
Yes.
So obviously big props to him as well. Not sure if he has a Twitter, but I don't know, not my problem.
He does. I'm pretty sure it's just at Saxoblock. I could just double check real quick, but yeah, super chill dude, great manager, just an all around great guy. So hopefully, okay, Perpetrators are ready.
Calypso have been ready for quite a while, so I do think that we're going to be heading into the game shortly. Anyway, carrying on with our conversation about Nepal, yeah, there's a lot of things that can be played. I'm more so... we know that Brawl is probably going to be favored on... we know that Brawl is going to be favored on Village, and it's probably going to be favored on the Shrine as well. I'm more interested in Sanctum, see how the teams want to play around a big death pit in the middle. Obviously, Reinhardt may be pretty good. Reinhardt may be pretty good on the other points, but maybe struggles a bit more on that point. Now, I have a question for you, and I think I already know the answer, but I just wanna see. Do you think we're going to be seeing any Lifeweaver gameplay today?
Considering it's a UGC, I don't think so, because UGC does not allow, I don't think they allow Lifeweaver until, he's allowed in comp, so 2 weeks ahead of the launch date. Yeah, I'm just got a DM from Saxo. But I could also see, aside from a Reinhardt, I could see a Ramatra being played here. Ramatra, especially on Sanctum, really good. Maybe a little bit more complicated on like Village, maybe, considering you have the high ground to rotate around. But definitely inside Sanctum, I definitely can see a Ramatra all being very deadly here. And it looks like we're finally in the game here. Both teams are just setting up right now. I cannot see their comps yet, but let's see if my theory is true. Either some type of brawl with a Reinhardt or a Ramatra is my guess here.
Yeah, no idea quite yet. As I was going to say, Lifeweaver probably wouldn't have been played anyway, even if it was allowed, because not particularly strong. Just wanted to toss that question out there. It does look like we're going to be seeing a little bit of a clash of styles between these two teams. A Sigma comp coming out from, apologies, I believe the side of Calypso, yes, apologies. And then, as you mentioned, the rush that will be coming out from the other side.
Yeah, this is the map where you could run either a poke or a brawl. And it looks like we're going to see both. We're going to see both Calypso play a little bit of Sigma poke with double sniper on Ash Hanzo with Mercy Pocket, and classic Symmetra brawl from the Perpetrators. Shaco gets a kill right off the bat on Todd, and I'm really eager to see how fast Calypso can build smalls here.
Yeah, straight off the rip, losing your Moira is probably the most disastrous thing, because suddenly all of the healing, all of the support from your competition is gone. That Ramatra, as tanky as he is going to be falling very shortly, and the poke is just going to be better from the side of Calypso. and they will be cleaning up this point.
Yeah, losing your Moira right off the bat, yeah, that was just the one domino to just start a collapse for the Perpetrators. And it looks like, looks like Todd doesn't get staggered there, fortunately, for the Perpetrators, but now Calypso gets the setup. The closest ult they're going to be getting to is combination of Nano and Dragon Strike.
Yeah, actually going to be seeing a little bit of a switch up. There is going to be a Junkrat now coming out, and but it doesn't matter because the poke is too good. Sapphire is going to be hitting these shots, hitting these dynamites, and at the same time, Shakiel will be coming around from the side to catch an assassination onto one of the Todds again. 2 Todds in the game, both of them will be falling, and it just seems like they're struggling to find answers to this.
Yeah, that Ashe Dynamite, like I said earlier, is massive for a poke comp like this, especially considering how fast it builds Ashe's ult charge. And she's already 82% to Bob with only 2 fights in, really, as it looks like Memoris is coming up on 5 ults total. All of them are in a great position to just collapse entirely.
Yeah, as you mentioned, the collapse will be coming in onto the Ana. It is successful. Cameraman does fall incredibly low in order to get that assassination, but it might be worth it. Though as I say that, Shakiel just decides to pop off on the point. 3 kills, Volpixie going off the map, and it's now really do or die. But the issue is, Calypso just have so much to work with.
Yeah. Calypso has 4 ults, and the only 2 ults that Perpetrators are close to is the Ramatra and the Lucio ults. Sigma Flux coming in here, and Bob, it's just totally brutal. Like, come on, Calypso. These guys have families. Like, this is like you gotta be a little more merciful on them. I think on the first map of the game.
Absolutely overwhelming damage. Roos will just be taking themselves off the map, and that is one hell of a start from the side of Calypso. The poke was just better. The rotations maybe not entirely clean. The rotations just not so clean, and really struggling to make headway on that point. But as we were speaking about earlier, now we're moving over to something that's a bit more perhaps brawl centric. One where you can get away with that Ramatra, especially. I do very much like Todd on this May, looking to make a little bit of magic happen on this point.
Now, it looks like the Perpetrators are honestly struggling to find an answer right off the bat, because they got a May Tracer with a Winston Mercy Moira. This doesn't have the greatest conjunction in the world right off the bat. Volpixie dies to Shakiel's Pharah, and yeah, Pharah Mercy just gets right behind the Perpetrators and just wipes their backline away.
Shakiel
like, they didn't even look up.
Shakiel is so free in the sky with this Mercy damage boost. Todd will be switching over to the Ashe to maybe put a little bit of pressure on. It's going to be an incredibly rough time pushing into this. Cheeky will switch the Widowmaker to catch a headshot, maybe. We'll actually be opting to stick on it.
The mirror to the Pharmercy is a little tempting, considering the comp that Calypso has. But Shakiel's already almost 60% to a barrage. Like, Shakiel keeps farming, especially on this Widow here. She has nowhere to go, and Shakiel just gets out for free. No punishment at all. Like, what is this? It's just bullying at this point.
Shakiel just wrapping over the
oh
point.
My God!
He is going to die too. Not entirely sure. Might have to get a fact check. Shakiel picked up what, 4 in that fight?
Oh my God! Perpetrators need to think of some type of answer. Maybe a diva of some sort, or maybe a high mobility comp in general to outmaneuver the Pharah. Maybe go for Little Dragon. That would probably be their best bet, but Todd actually gets a kill on Sapphire Siren here. The first death of the game, I believe, for Calypso.
Perpetrators are going to be trying to play this a little bit faster. Todd on this Ashe has been hitting some very nice shots, actually. Really trying to open up the fight, but that is a nice resurrect onto Shakill, who has the barrage. May not even be necessary when Sapphire is catching these kills with his pulse bomb. So much chaos happening in this fight, but the trades are ending up in favor of Calypso. Bit of a nice little use of the wrist roll. Maybe not entirely necessary, but at this point, 95% left on the point.
Not entirely necessary, but you still have a barrage in your back pocket for that 3% that's still left on point. And it's just a clean sweep from Calypso minus those 2 elims. But Sapphire Siren picked it right back up with a nice kill on their, I think it was their Ana there, and a pulse bomb as well to even out the fight. And now we just get to watch Shakill completely decimate the Perpetrators with no contest whatsoever.
Yeah, that was a 4K there from Shakill, just incredibly rough, and Perpetrators just didn't seem to have an answer. They needed to play that faster. They were just sort of sitting still and letting Shakill get away with this, just get away with all these shots, all of this value, and when you do that, you're just a sitting duck against a fire. What do you expect to happen, Shadow?
I 100% agree with you. And considering the absolute domination that Sapphire and Melu, worked on the Pharmacy, I highly suspect that they'll do it again, if possible. It looks like the next map is going to be Rialto, so this is a great Pharmacy map. I wouldn't be surprised if they ran it again.
Absolutely. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know what I mean? you have no reason. Shakill, obviously, credit where credit is due to Shakill. She's just been putting in a great performance on the Pharah, just really cleaning up, being the absolute nightmare for Perpetrators. And almost at that point, when you have a Pharmercy in the sky applying that much pressure, the rest of your team can get away with just about anything. The supports for Calypso aren't ever really going to be threatened because the DPS, the tank, the supports, all just looking up into the skybox, and it just creates such a nasty crossfire. And this is why Pharah has the potential to truly take over some games.
Absolutely. The one real threat to Calypso's team, their Tracer, just kept dying at the beginning of each fight. And then Todd eventually got a couple picks, but still too little too late. Even if he had gotten 3, Calypso, let's say that they'd even got the point to flip, right? Calypso was still far ahead in ultimate charge and ultimate economy, that they just would have overwhelmed the Perpetrators regardless. It was just an absolute clean blowout where the skies weren't even contested at all. None of the back line for the Perpetrators was contested. The only reason Todd got those 2 picks was because, they eventually got a little bit too gutsy and got a little bit too out of position. And that's where Todd was able to find some value. Maybe he can do that again here. But I feel like the Perpetrators is going to have to really, really either focus on rotations to play out of the line of sight of the Pharmercy, or to really put a lot more pressure on the Pharmercy with Todd on a sniper of some sort. And again, I'm consistent with a diva, 100%. Apparently there is some weird audio feedback from me, so that's great.
Is this the time as the only English person in the lobby to say NA production, or would that be?
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, as I said, full credit to Saxo doing an incredible job. But just general, it's always funny to talk about NA production. Speaking of, we will be moving into Speaking of, I'm no idea what speaking of means, but we are going to be moving into Rialto. Calypso going to be starting on the attack, and wouldn't you know it, Shakehill will be going out on the Farah with this Mercy combo. Sort of all expected, and we will finally be seeing that Diva, which you mentioned could be so useful for the side of the Perpetrators here.
Now, this is kind of interesting here, because Todd was just playing DPS, and now he's on Diva, which is a little odd. I'm not sure if...
Well, you know what's odd about Todd? There's two of them. They cloned him in a lab.
Yeah, that is weird.
They cloned him in a lab.
Very weird.
I'm slightly more concerned about the fact that Vulpixie is playing a fire without a pocket. Not saying that it can't be done. Certainly had some matches where an unpocketed fire was able to do some work, but those are few and far between, and the dive onto the Moira was good, and seeing a little bit of a different style coming out from Calypso, but it seems to be all the more effective nonetheless. Todd will be falling, Shakehill an absolute menace in the skies, and there just really isn't an answer from the side of the Perpetrators. Todd, this could be good Todd or evil Todd, I'm not entirely sure which one. Will be heading back to spawn.
Fantastic collapse onto the Moira with an initial hack from Sapphire, and then the rest of Calypso just dove right on top of them, and Sapphire just Sombra dipped Vulpixie right off the gate. That's already a DPS down for Perpetrators right out of their own spawn.
He's going to be pushing up even further in spawn. A barrage in the spawn. Shakehill catching 4 in that one fight, but was it even necessary? I don't think that Calypso even need to be using any ults here. This is just a total and utter domination. The Farah is free in the sky. The Farah is free in the sky. The Sombra's applying so much pressure. Little Dragon will finally get hacked up, maybe applying a little bit of pressure, but who's going to follow up on the dives? Who's going to follow up on the dives? What, the Diva, who's just too busy trying to get this far out of the sky? It's going to be such a tough time.
So Vulpixie was also contesting the cart. Meanwhile, way in Perpetrator's spawn, there's the Mercy just blasted away. Like, what can you do against this? Especially if Diva's not even really going up into the sky much.
Diva attempting to get that assassination onto the Mercy, not quite able to work out. Roos cleaning up, and barring a little bit of contest from Pixie, I don't think the cart has actually been stopped this entire game.
Nope, not at all. And Little Dragon's just being the cart, maybe.
They were getting a little bit too big for a Bootser there. Went for a very risky res. Pod cleaning up, and maybe, just maybe, finally Perpetrators will have some room to work with.
Yeah, they have about 5 minutes and 15 seconds to work with here. Meanwhile, it looks like they're going to commit to an EMP, Calypso, and they see that they have the Bob. See Perpetrators has Bob. Perpetrators commits the Bob. So it gets slept and hacked immediately. Perpetrators commits an EMP of their own, and to no avail at all. Perpetrators is now down. Perpetrators now only has Valk. Meanwhile, Calypso has 3 ults in their pocket, and this is just not looking good at all.
The ult advantage for Calypso was so good and just isn't stopping. A switch over to the Reaper to apply more pressure to the Winston will be working in the short term, but once Todd is forced out, going to be having a very rough time. Primal on the Monkey, going to be looking to jump in, make some magic happen, but doesn't even need to do it when Shakehill is just dominating the skies once again, catching 2 off the back of that barrage. Hack onto Todd will be finding a little bit of a Hail Mary rock onto Lil Dragon, but it's all going to be for naught, as it seems like Calypso are just going to be rolling this all the way to the end.
It's just so brutal. Perpetrators have no clue which target to specify on, right? They have no decently good target focus because they're constantly split between the Sombra behind them or the Farmer, so you just constantly getting free ult charge with each shot in the sky. Like, what do you do here? What do you do here if you were perpetrators?
It could just be. It could just be a mechanical difference. If we're being perfectly honest, it does not necessarily seem like the strategy isn't terrible from the side of the perpetrators. They've been trying their own Farm Mercy. They've been trying some hit scan and Diva, but it's just not working. And there's only so much. Overwatch is beloved because it's very strategic, but there's only so much strategy that is involved in a damage boosted Pharah just taking all your heads off all at once.
Now we're in for an interesting comp on both sides here. Calypso's going with a double flyer strategy with an Ana Mercy, Pharah, and Echo with a Sigma. So I bet the best opening that perpetrators have against Calypso is to shoot the Echo and focus the flyer that's not being mercy pocketed at the time. Or they just completely commit to a dive and dive their Ana. Again, best case scenario. However, it looks like Todd just gets picked right at. Oh, what the heck happened to Volpixie there?
Pixie going off the map once again, not a great look, to be perfectly honest. There is going to be some poking coming out from both sides, however, looks like it does look like the perpetrator.
What is happening with Volpixie?
I don't know. Again, I'm not entirely sure that was unintentional this time.
I know we have a replay system in beta. That would be a great time to test it, if that is possible. I don't know if it is possible, but let's see. I'm just gonna keep an eye on Volpixie for now.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree, to be perfectly honest. Maybe going off the map there twice, not a great look, and there's just not much that perpetrators can really do fighting a 4v5. We are going to be asking for a pause in the match, and so it's quite possible. So yeah, it is quite possible that there was some maybe connection issues for Volpixie. Obviously, we cannot necessarily determine exactly what was happening there, but
not sure if the pause is necessary for the players or if it's just an issue with technical difficulties. I can't see the stream right now, unfortunately, so I have no clue what's happening on Saxo's end.
Working very hard, as I can assume. Trying to get the little baby that is the stream up and working and running again.
I'm just viciously keeping an eye out on the Discord to see if I get added by Saxo here. I know he's juggling 20 things at once, and we all appreciate him very much.
Yeah, I am checking the Discord. It seems that there is an issue, something regarding the chat, but it has been fixed apparently. So it doesn't seem like we're having any issues. We will be going back into the game pretty shortly. Saxo's internet died for a second. Very, very sad, but oh well.
Tragic.
Do you honestly think that there's an answer here for perpetrators? Because it looks like they've just thrown everything at the wall and nothing's sticking, and there's only so much that you can discuss when the other team are just taking your heads off the moment you leave spawn.
I mean, right now they're just losing the poke/flyer mirror, and they just have to get off of it, but they're just not. They're just consistently losing to Shakehill and Sapphire Siren. Volpixie has half of the ult charge that Sapphire Siren has, and Todd barely has 50%. There goes Volpixie again, flying off the map for the third time this round. Oh, this is no bueno at all.
Volpix is in 2 minutes. Volpix is not even 50% slow. Swarman 40 will be falling. This is painful to watch. Todd finally finding Shake Kill, so there is maybe a potential with a. There is maybe some potential, but the Resurrect destroys any possibility of that. Do you think that this Sombra pick from the side of... Do you think this Sombra pick from the side of Perpetrators is going to be affecting anything?
If Volpixie can coordinate with their team and go for the Ana, that is their best bet. Or maybe collapse on the Mercy. Volpixie gets a hack on Mercy. But then translocates into Calypso and dies because of it. This is... Oh, this is brutal. This is just so brutal.
Team kill will be coming out from the side of Calypso. Swarman on the Lucio, maybe gonna be looking for a change of pace. Potentially, a Reinhardt Ramatra would be interesting, but anything to maybe get onto that Ana could be worth a try. But it does look like, it does just look like it's gonna be a Saxoblock. Flux will be coming out. Sleep Mist onto Root. Will be able to get it off. A nice hack, cancelling that accretion onto Todd. Just about living, but it's all for naught because the rest of the team is there with the follow-up. A Valkyrie from Meilu to keep everyone healthy, and we're heading into final fight territory. Swarman has not charged a single ult this entire match. It's been incredibly low. Todd will be making a switch over to the Diva to try and shut down Shakegill, but we saw how well that worked last time. Is there any hope that maybe, just maybe, a miracle can be pulled off from the side of the Perpetrators?
Volpixie should not die here if they want to actually get some fight win at all.
Oh, that's
looks like Todd goes down immediately, and Fitz Magic, and yep, just a Nano Mercy, or Nano Far, excuse me, and Barrage just for the cherry on top, and that's just a wrap. That's just a damn near full hold by Calypso with, keep in mind, a 5-minute, what was that? 5-minute time bank? 4-minute, 45-minute time bank in their back pocket too. It's like just an absolute masterclass of the Pharmercy here from Shakehill and Meilu. Hopefully, Perpetrators can think of something to just try and contest at all, because right now it looks like they're struggling to get out of their own spawn.
Yeah, as you said, Calypso really struggling. Sorry, no, Calypso not struggling.
Calypso.
Perpetrators really struggling. Calypso playing the Pharah to perfection. Honestly, didn't see any huge mistakes coming out from Shakehill. We are going to be having a small substitution, taking out the Sigma Todd, the evil Todd. Will replace him with Cameraman, hopefully maybe playing a new tank, maybe giving a bit of a new lease on life. Are going to be going to Midtown, which finally a map where Pharah may not be quite as oppressive. Maybe second point can be a bit rough, but obviously all of third point is indoors. The first point has some very good high ground, that train to deal with. Pharah maybe not particularly great there, so potentially, do you reckon that Perpetrators might be able to get something out of this map that they haven't done in the last two?
Well, given that they put Camo Man in, it looks like here Camo Man is a Reinhardt player. So they could be committing to some type of Brawl, which Brawl isn't too bad. Say for maybe the first point, but mostly third point. Third point is pretty good for Brawl, very close quarters. But second point, I think that's going to be all Calypso. Considering how open it is perfect for, yet again, a flyer comp of some sort. And meanwhile, I can easily see a Sigma just sitting on cart, or Ana even, just sitting on cart the entire time, uncontested by Perpetrators, again, because it's literally what's been happening the past two games. The Ana's just sitting on cart, and they barely had to play at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were just told that we are going to the map pool. Not entirely sure what that means, to be perfectly honest. Shadow, do you have more of an idea than I do?
Well, they're showing the map pool on the screen right now, and it looks like the next map in the rotation for the UGC second week is Midtown, and then followed by that. Thank you, Saxo, for the NA production quote. Followed by that, should Perpetrators win Midtown, then it will go to New Queen Street. But given the history so far, excuse me, I feel like this is just all going to be Calypso.
Yeah, I would totally agree. Bigger comebacks have happened, especially in some of my Overwatch matches, especially even at pro level. Bigger comebacks have happened, but this has just been total and utter domination from the side of Calypso, without a doubt. They just seem to have a grasp on playing the Pharah. Pharah is so good at exploiting. Pharah is so good at exploiting the weaknesses of a lot of other teams because it can often just feel very cheesy, you know, very, very unfair, very oppressive. The idea of like, oh, I'm just being shot in the sky by an immortal witch who is raining down hellfire and fury with these huge damage rockets onto me, and there's not a lot you can do. The only best way to try and overcome that is with a real sense of team coordination. You know, you can't rely on one person to just be killing the pocketed fire every time. You need to be playing as a unit, either playing aggressively onto the people on the ground or slowly taking space and chipping away at that fire as a team.
Absolutely. And it looks like we have a little bit of an answer for as to why Volpixie kept falling off the map, and I believe it's because of lag spikes here. That's very unfortunate if they're having a lot of lag spikes during that last round of Rialto. Though they didn't mention it when we were paused, which is weird. I'm not sure. But right now, looks like both teams are just setting up right now. I'm not sure what's going on. We're resetting, looks like.
Yeah. So then, hey, maybe they'll get Todd in to play the DPS instead. That could be great. Then it would be a double Todd DPS line, which might just be the secret for Perpetrators. Double Todd on DPS, completely unstoppable. Overwatch League teams.
Double Todd might be the new meta, and also a casting nightmare.
Goodness.
That's going to be so much fun if that actually happens. But no, it looks like Volpixie is coming back in.
How do you think casters are going to deal with the situation for the Soul Dynasty with Prophet and Prophet?
I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Maybe they'll split the word in half and call one person pro and then the second one fit. I don't know. Maybe they'll refer to each other's character. I genuinely don't know. I think that might be an easier solution there.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Volpixie will be slowly getting back into the game, so it looks like we should maybe starting again fairly soon, or at least loading in. Nope, not in the game.
Nope,
which
not in
means
the game.
we're here talking for quite a while. Okay,
this could be fun.
Okay, well, what else is new?
Given Calypso's history, I've heard from Saxo that they have been slowly but surely improving as a team, and it's clearly being shown tonight. And they're absolutely making great usage of everything that they've learned so far as a team, everything that they've perfected in scrims and whatnot. I'm not sure of everything that they've been practicing. Maybe this flyer comp is a new thing that they've been experimenting with, or maybe it's something that they're very comfortable on. I'm not sure entirely, but it looks like they are doing quite well with it, and I wouldn't be surprised if they kept doing it in future matches, whoever they face up in the future. I don't know what their schedule is in terms of UGC opponents, but yeah, I'm not sure.
As far as I'm concerned, UGC is something too American for me to understand. I'm just sort of focused on the Overwatch that I see right in front of me. Very short attention span like that. It does sort of just seem like there's a strong mechanical difference between the teams. One side hitting more shots, using cooldowns just slightly better, and there's not that much that can be overcome from the side of Perpetrators. Was able to catch a view of some of their POVs during that match, and just seemed to struggle a little bit. And honestly, trying to think of more things to say in this break is a bit of a challenge.
It is quite a challenge. Oh my god, I have not casted since was it? It's been about 4 years now since I've casted an Overwatch game. So
oh wow,
this is quite a way to get back into it. So hopefully we will get the game on sooner or later.
Jesus, 4 years ago. What was that? Goats? That was Goats being played 4 years ago, right?
Yeah, that was.
Oh god,
was right around
nightmare.
It was yeah. I casted one game, and then it was the only reason I casted the game was because my elo was too high to play in the specific tournament that my team was playing in. So I just cast it, and I'm like, all right, cool. This is an experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one of the experiences of all time, to say.
One of the experiences of all time.
Yeah.
That is,
God,
yes,
Overwatch 4 years ago is such a strange thing to look back on. Imagine showing someone imagine showing a new player, and it's like, what, Doom can one-shot people? That seems overpowered.
Oh god.
And to that I say, yeah, it probably was thinking, looking back on it.
Oh yeah.
Oh well.
It looks like Volpixie cannot log in.
Did they get kicked?
Did they get kicked out? What?
I think we're gonna see the double Todd DPS lineup.
Oh god. What is happening? Wait, so. Are they playing from like EU or Asian servers or something like that, where they have 3,000 ping and they just can't log? How do you get kicked out and not log in? I don't know what the servers. Is Blizzard getting DDoSed again? What is going on?
As far as I'm concerned, Blizzard is just a small indie company.
It really is.
We can't expect them to be able to take care of their servers. There is going to be a sub Destiny that will be coming in. Maybe Destiny for the side of Perpetrators, trying to make a little bit of magic happen. Not entirely sure, though, gentlemen. We are still a whole host of
I know.
issues here.
Now I know Destiny because they used to be a player for the Argonauts, and Destiny is Calypso's coach. So if Destiny were to play for the Perpetrators, that would be a very interesting experience, but I don't think that's going to happen. Especially considering that Destiny's a GM1 support player. Yeah, it's quite. That's going to be quite
would certainly go in top 10 anime betrayals of all time. That's I'm sure.
Easily, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe while we're here, then let's discuss a little bit more about Midtown, the map. So, first point: what comps are you running? How are you playing it? What might we be expecting to see from these sides?
Okay, so if you're on attack, you have a couple of ideas. So I've seen some creativity with the Symmetra TP before, where you teleport into the fire department, TP up to the second floor, and then your team just brawls it out on point. That's one option. Another option is to simply rotate underneath and dive straight onto point or straight onto their backline, wherever it may be. I've also just seen a straight up brawl. Usually It's perfect for like higher elo teams since they know how to play out of LOS or line of sight. But if you do go for the brawl, it is quite the trip to make. So it's not the most practical thing in the world, especially considering that both first and second point has so much space. For the most part,
They're doing it. I'm sorry.
Oh my god!
But they're doing it.
Oh
they're
no!
actually doing it. The double top DPS line.
Oh god! This is gonna be a nightmare to cast. This is gonna be so atrocious. I'm just gonna refer to each character, rather than Todd 1 and Todd 2. It's like Thing 1 and Thing 2. I don't know what would be the best scenario to do this. Oh god, one of them. Okay, so one of them is.
I just prefer good Todd and evil Todd. Whoever it is will change on the fly.
Okay, yeah. Good Todd is the one that's been getting picked so far. So we'll call that Good Todd, and Bad Todd the tank player who's now playing DPS.
Yeah, respect. In fairness, with all credit due, the good Todd, the DPS Todd, as far as we're concerned, the one who's been playing DPS, has been, if we can say anything, a slight bright spot from Perpetrators. And that may sound odd, seeing as they were sort of, their first two maps, were very rough, just sort of piling under mud. But if there was one single rose that arose from that pile of mud, it was Todd, able to genuinely get some nice picks, some nice shots. So maybe Perpetrators in the future might be looking around making more space for the good Todd, because good Todd can clearly make some good things happen for this Perpetrator side.
Absolutely. 100% kill participation from the good Todd on Nepal, by the way. So I think good Todd's gonna be the hard carry here for the Perpetrators, and now we're finally getting into the map. Thank God!
They're doing it!
Oh, thank God! We're finally getting into this game. I'm excited. I just want to see what the double Todd meta is. I don't even know what it could be. What are your thoughts? What are your predictions for the double Todd meta?
It's gotta be a duo, right? It's gotta be. No, wait, Todd's on support.
Oh no!
No, they're not doing it. They're not doing the DPS line. I gave my trust over to these teams. I gave my trust over to the double Todds, and they let me down again. I am so upset and disappointed. Shadow, take it away while I take a minute just cry in the corner.
Oh god, it's not even like a Far Mercy duo too. It's a Sojourn Moira. So it looks like they're going for some type of a poke brawl, with a Reinhardt 76 Sojourn Moira Lucio. The way you play with Sojourn now is with a Mercy Pocket, simply because it's harder for her to get that one shot, and without a Mercy Pocket, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. And considering you're playing into a poke comp with Spam, with the Junkrat and the Hanzo, and the Discord Orb against a Reinhardt, it's not going to be fun if you are the Perpetrators.
Honestly, not a bad idea from Perpetrators there. Todd will actually be finding a nice kill onto Sapphire on the way out, but not a bad idea at all. They tried to speed onto that high ground, try and dislodge them, rush down that high ground, because they know that that's where they're going to be playing, because it is so oppressive. But the Discord was there. They just didn't get enough resources out of the side of Calypso. But now they're going to be making a wholesale rotation to point, looking to play out of the fire department. But Shakehill able to catch Todd in the chaos, perhaps not so comfortable on this Moira. And the idea is great from Calypso. Apologies. The idea is great from the side of Perpetrators. They are trying to speed through. They're trying to make some stuff happen with this brawl, but it's just not quite working out for them.
Early on the fight, Good Todd had an opportunity. He had an opportunity to collapse onto Melu on the Zenyatta, who was by themselves, and she just Todd just stood by the fire truck and just hid. I don't know why. He wasn't even being targeted that much. He was behind cover. He could have used his slide to just commit full on to the Zenyatta sitting in the train. But now...
Camo went in just simply way too aggressive. Oh my god, Sapphire.
Oh no.
Sapphire's going for it. Sapphire's going for it.
No. Don't let it
I want
happen.
this to happen. I want this to happen. I don't think it will.
Oh my god.
I don't think it will. The damage is there.
Oh my
The
god.
damage is there.
Good Todd almost died to the hammer. Thank God that Mega health back was there.
If Good Todd died to the hammer, he would no longer have been Good Todd. We would have switched roles around.
Well, if they're
Would have
both
been Evil Todd
I
instead.
think at that point it's just bad Todd and evil Todd. It's like, you know, lesser of two evils here. It's
Absolutely.
It's like
So
they're
many
gonna
ultimates
rotate.
are going to be coming out from the Calypso side. Nothing that the Perpetrators are going to have to match. It's going to be a very rough fight for them.
They are getting close to the Diva Bomb, but it looks like Good Todd was sent to the point.
Oh! 3k from
Wow.
Such a nasty flux. Molten Core as well from Siren to clean things up.
Yeah,
Not quite able to stagger out Camo Man. The universe is singing to roost, catching 3 in that fight there.
That
And
was
now,
very, very
now
devastating.
Perpetrators scrambling for some answers.
Yeah, they had the right idea. The Perpetrators had the right idea to rotate together into the fire department. However, Good Todd stepped out onto point first when it looked like, at least from my point of view, that the rest of the Perpetrators wanted to go upstairs to get to the high ground. And that's when they sort of split themselves here. And it looks like Hitman commits the Diva Bomb, gets nothing out of it, thanks to a well-placed signal shield and a Trank. Shakio gets a kill on Todd with the Rip Tire. His magic does get a kill onto Poker's Baptiste and commits the visor, but doesn't have any good position to really get a pick after that. And Calypso again, absolutely dominating with a full hold on point 1.
Technically, not quite a full hold. Technically, not quite a full hold. Was able to manage 62%, so just under 2 ticks on that point, which is a lot better than can be said for the last few maps, to be perfectly honest.
I mean, yeah,
the
given the past 2 maps, this you gotta remember, Calypso had a 5-minute time bank on Rialto. This is basically the equivalent of a full hold regardless on where your point stands, because the Perpetrators gotta pull a miracle out of their asses in order to get anything done here. This is... oh no.
Oh my god, what?
I don't know what is happening here. Camo Man on the Roadhog, Todd on Bastion, Fitzmagic on the 76, and we got the Evil Todd on Moira and Swarman on Tease. Synergy be damned! Because...
Shadow, do you think that after the nerfs, Roadhog is the worst hero in Overwatch 2?
He's one of the worst. I wouldn't say he... well, I would...
Who's worse? Who's worse than Hog?
It really depends on the elo. I think Doomfist is worse in a lower elo. But Hog is down there. Hog is not great because he requires your team to follow up on your hooks now. You get the hook onto the Diva, but gets slept immediately after, and Diva just falls to the ground. So that's a cooldown gone. And they just waltz their way to the point. And, oh no.
Full rotation to the point. Shaken will be casting Fits. And it will just be the Perpetrators falling to the members of Calypso one by one, as that'll be GG. Calypso will be taking this. A very clean 3-0 victory. Didn't really seem to struggle that much. Commiserations to I apologize, I keep forgetting the name of the other team.
Perpetrators.
The Perpetrators, I keep getting. Commiserations to the Perpetrators, really showed a couple of bright spots, really put their best foot forward, but just weren't really a match in the end.
Yeah, really, it was an uphill battle for the Perpetrators that unfortunately they did lose. Calypso, just it couldn't have been easier for them at that last point. There was no contest in the choke at all, and it was absolutely free. The definition of free, where you just walk straight to point, no shots being thrown at you at all. It's just absolutely crazy to me that the perpetrators let that happen. But
I'd
very,
say
very
that
well
I
game.
feel I'd say I feel bad for the Perpetrators, but they didn't end up running the double Todd DPS line, so I don't really care. Good job, Calypso.
Yeah.
On the 3-0. Yeah, but in all seriousness, it was a very one-sided series. Calypso having a better grasp of what they wanted to play and how they wanted to play it, seemed more confident in themselves. The aim, the mechanics were just there, on point. Perpetrators just couldn't find an answer. Had no real chance in this match from the get-go, to be perfectly honest.
Calypso, it honestly couldn't have been better for them, and I'm sure that they're having a great time right now, just probably chanting free, 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 just constantly at the end of each game. Yeah, definitely props to them. Definitely well played by everybody involved, and it's been a pleasure casting for the first time in a long time.
Absolutely, thank you very much, Shadow. It's been nice of you to show me the ropes.
Oh God.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much for everyone today tuning into the stream. We should be back. There's going to be quite a few more games. Marmaris obviously has a lot of teams as far as I'm concerned. There's going to be a lot of productions, a lot of matches that should be coming out in the next couple of days, couple of weeks, so stay tuned for those. Thank you all for everything. I have been Egda, and you have been
an awesome audience.
an awesome audience. I was trying to lead you in saying I've been Shadow, but we don't quite have that synergy yet.
Well, yeah. I assumed you meant you as in the audience watching, so
Yes,
I thought you were gonna say and you were watching Disney Channel.
Of course. Big thanks to Saxo for producing. Big thanks to Shadow being a brilliant co-caster for today, and thank you all for watching. And we will be seeing you another day. So goodbye, everyone.
Thank you very much.